Hi all, welcome to video 13 of genai using langchain and databricks playlist. Basically, in last video, we have seen the basics of semantic search. We have found the most matching document to the user query based on cosine similarity, and that was kind of a teaser, right? How we develop RAG applications. Now, in this session, we are going to start learning about what is prompt. Okay, the prompt concept we have used a lot of times previously. Okay, for example, if I tell you this user query is nothing but the prompt, right? Prompt we are passing to the LLM, right? So first, let's say a very simple definition of prompt is the prompt is the prompt is the instruction or input you give to AI model, right? Prompt is the instruction or input we give to AI model. Okay, just like we are giving a clear instruction to some junior engineer. Okay, and the thing is, AI gives better output when instructions are clear, right? So the output of LLM is hugely hugely dependent on the prompt given, right? Prompt given. Okay. So, and I think recently you must have noticed there is one, uh, I would say, a practice or branch of engineering getting emerged, which is prompt engineering, right? So, prompt has got a lot of importance in this Gen AI, right? Gen AI world or AI world, we can say, right? Fine. So, what we will do, we will learn about all types of prompt in very, simple language. What all types of prompts are there, right? What all are the ways we can give an instruction to LLM model, right? So let me give you an idea, and this is a theoretical session. You can sit back, relax, okay, and just watch this, right? This will clear your most of the concepts, right? So first is simple or direct prompt. Okay, so the first uh, type of prompt we can say is simple or direct prompt. Okay, what is this? It is like we are asking something directly, right? Asking the need, okay, or query directly, right? For example, what is the, let's say, what is the capital of France? What is the capital of France, right? Or what is generative AI, right? These are like direct, simple and very direct prompts that we are, giving to LLM. Okay, and these are used when we want to get quick answers, when we want to understand the definitions, or we want to understand summary of any topic, right? So quick answers, right? Definitions, right? Summaries, etc. There are many other uses, but these can be the use cases when we use simple or direct prompt. Now, in case of simple or direct prompt, user has a lot of, dependency on user, right? If user gives the prompt wrong, LLM is going to give a wrong output or a different output, right? So we already have seen, to make it consistent, I think we will see in upcoming sessions, to make it consistent, we will be having dynamic prompt, right? And that we will implement in upcoming sessions, okay, using langchain, databricks. Okay, fine. Now first prompt we have seen simple or direct prompt. Second prompt is prompt instructions prompt. Okay, so what do I mean by instructions prompt is, you tell the AI what to do, right? User explains the AI what to do, right? You do this, you do that, right? Explain, let's say, I would say generative AI in simple words, right? So the example can be explain Gen AI in simple words, okay? Or or um give, okay, or give the summary of current IPL 2026 in 10 sentences. 10 sentences, right? So what we are doing, we are giving a better instruction than the simple or direct prompt, right? We are telling them what you need to do, right? You need to explain in case of first prompt Gen AI in simple words. In case of second prompt, you need to give summary, right, of current IPL 2026 in 10 sentences, right? That's how, we work with instruction prompts, right? And the next one, okay, next one is contextual prompt. Contextual prompts, right? So what do I mean by contextual prompts? It is like we give background information before asking, right? Now, what is background information we are giving? Let's say we are giving some business related details, we are giving some domain details or role, if we are looking for role based answers, right? For example, the prompt can be, let's say I am a data engineer working on databricks. Explain how generative AI can be used in data pipelines using databricks, right? So here we are giving context to the model, context to the LLM model, that I'm so and so engineer, right? I'm working in some data pipelines, and you explain me how to implement the Gen AI in data pipelines, right? So in this case, background user gives background information before asking the question, before asking the question, okay? And the information can be business related, right? Context can be business related, can be domain specific, can be domain specific, okay, or can be, some role based, right? Let's say I have given, so the my prompt is basically I am a databricks data engineer, right? Explain me how to make use of Gen AI in data engineering pipelines using Databricks, right? So what I'm doing, I'm explaining the role. I'm Databricks data engineer, right? I'm giving the context, okay? And after that context, I'm asking the LLM, just let me know how I can make the use of generative AI while, building data engineering pipelines using Databricks, or after I have clean data, anything, right? Fine. The next type is role based prompt. First, very important thing. You don't need to mug up all these things, right? You can just, we are exploring here what are the number of ways we can give prompt to LLM, right? So we have seen simple prompt, direct prompt, instruction prompt, and contextual prompt. Now we are seeing a role based prompt. Okay. Now what is role based prompt? We ask the model, or we ask the AI to act as someone, right? And we use this when we are looking for some expert advice. Okay. We are looking for some interview preparation. Okay. We are looking for some mentoring, right? The example can be, let's say, act as a engineering last year fresher student, and explain the uh, python, for example, python concepts, as explain the python concepts, that's all, right? So you we are asking AI, you get into the shoes of the engineering last year fresher student, right? and explain Python concept that way, right? So we are assigning some role to the we are asking AI model to act as someone. We are assigning some role to that model, right? Okay, and this we use when we need some expert advice, right? We can ask this model to act as some machine learning engineer or genai engineer or prompt engineering engineer or a doctor or a lot of things, right? Or a politician, I don't know, n number of things you can try, right? So interview prep we can use, right? If I think of our context, okay, we can think of mentoring, right? Let's say we can ask AI act as a mentor, okay, act as, let's say, data engineering mentor and explain me what are the hot topics that I should study in 2026 to become a good data engineer, right? So we are asking the AI, we are asking the LLM model to act as someone, right? To take some role and then explain things through that role. Okay, fine. Now there is next thing, next type of prompt, chain of thoughts prompting. Chain of thoughts prompting. Okay. Chain of thought promptings is like giving AI the step by step information. Okay. Asking AI to think step by step. Okay. Now what we can do here, what question I can ask is, sorry, step by step. I have already written step by step. Okay. What I can ask AI is explain me the basics of Python. Okay. Then relate how Python is important in today's data engineering, ML and GenAI era. ML and GenAI era. Okay. Also compare other languages considering data engineering, ML and GenAI era. Right. So what I'm doing, I'm giving step by step, I'm asking AI to think step by step. What I'm doing, first step, I'm asking, just explain me the basics of Python. Whatever information you have, explain me. Okay. Now you have explained me the basics of Python. Now relate how Python is important, right? It will explain how we are using Python in all these three use cases. For example, data engineering, it might say we'll be having Apache Spark, and you can use Python with Spark, which is PySpark. Then ML and GenAI is while currently learning GenAI, we are using Python only, right? And it will tell the advantages of Python in machine learning also. And the third step I'm asking it is also compare other languages, okay, compare other languages with Python, okay, with Python, considering data engineering, ML and GenAI era. So I'm asking this AI, I'm asking the LLM model to think step by step, okay, go step by step and give me these details. This we call chain of thoughts prompting. Okay. Now what is advantage of chain of thoughts prompting is we can ask AI for some problem solving, right? For some problem solving. Okay. Problem solving. Let's say there is some problem. I know step 1, step 2 and step 3 to be taken to solve this problem. I can ask AI, do this step 1 first. Okay. Uh, for example, the recent experience I would tell you, we were doing one of the Databricks hackathon code, right? And there, the design was in our head, right? We were having design like what part 1 I'll prepare, what part 2 I'll prepare, and what part 3 I'll prepare for that particular project. Okay. And my thought process was I wanted to keep part 1, part 2, and part 3 totally decoupled, right? So, what I have done in this case, I use chain of thoughts prompting. Okay. I asked AI to, you know, give me all details, right? What I can do in part 1. I gave my thought process, right? This is my thought process. and give me how I can develop the part 1, right? And then part 2 and then part 3, and all these three parts I wanted to keep totally decoupled, right? Because any updates, anything that is changed, that is coming to, let's say, part 1, it should not impact my part 2, it should not impact my part 3. I mean, it will impact basically, right? But if there is some code change that I am doing in part 1, I should not need to do the code change in part 2 and part 3 also, right? That is the importance of decoupling of your sections whenever you are developing any data engineering, any generative AI or ML pipelines, right? Anything. Okay. So chain of thoughts prompting we can use for problem solving, we can use for calculations, we can use for explanations, right? And the advantages of chain of thoughts prompting is like it improves the accuracy. It improves the accuracy. Then it reduces hallucination, right? It reduces hallucination, right? Because you are giving step by step. You are going step by step. So it will not hallucinate. It will hallucinate, but much lesser. Okay, much lesser. And that you have to control, that you have to understand as a user. Okay, fine. The next type of prompt is few shots prompting. Few shots prompting. Okay. Now, what is few shots prompting? In few shots, if you see the name only suggests few shots, right? So give some examples, right? Whatever you are saying, give me some example first, right? Give it a few shots and then ask your question. Okay. So what is that? We give user, let's say user explains few examples. We call them, let's say, shots. Okay. To the LLM. Okay. And then asks the question. Okay. Then asks the question. When we want to use this, okay, let's see that later on. When we want to use this, we will first see the example. Okay. Let's say first thing I have got review as, okay, this is good product. This is good product. Okay. Sentiment of this review is, let's say, positive, right? Then I got, let's say, one more review. This is worst product, right? So here, what is the sentiment? Negative. Sentiment is negative, right? Next is, let's say I'm getting some review. Oh, great. Another update to destroy our phones, for example, right? Now, this is neither positive, neither negative. This is sarcasm. This is kind of sarcasm. So, what you will do? You will just explain here. This is sarcasm, right? Then there might be one more review. Let's say this is good cost wise, but performance is not up to the mark. Performance is not up to the mark. Okay. So, what is sentiment? Neutral. Neutral. Something is good, something is not good, right? Fine. Neutral. Okay. So, we give such examples, right? We give such examples and then we ask AI, okay. And now, review is my review is this is okay product. This is okay product. It is cheaper as compared to other products, but It is cheaper as compared to other products, but the features are not good, right? Now, what I'll ask AI is based on above examples, classify the sentiment of above review. This is called few shots prompting. We give few examples to AI and then ask our question. Okay. So what happens here? The LLM or the model learns from example. It learns from example. Okay. And it is very powerful technique. Okay. In practical world, when we are working with GenAI, it is very powerful technique. Okay. And let me tell you one thing. Recently, I was going through one of the Claude certification, the architect certification that Claude has recently, uh, you know, uh, uh, given. Okay, so there I have seen the best how to use few shots prompting to its best. Okay, so few shots prompting is best suited when we give 2 to 4 examples. Okay, 2 to 4 examples with at least one example covering edge case scenario. Okay, in this case few shots prompting works to the best. Okay, fine. The next is zero shots prompting. Zero shots prompting. I think this you would understand right away. No examples, direct question, right? I'll directly ask, uh, classify the sentiment of below review. Of below review. This is okay product, right? Okay. And I'll not give an example, nothing. I'll just ask them, give me the sentiment of this review. This is fast, right? It will give you the faster output, but we have less control than few shots prompting. Okay. Now, next thing is structured output prompting. Okay. Structured prompt. Let me write structured prompt. Okay. What do I mean by structured prompt? We set some limit. Okay. Structured prompt is like we demand a specific format. Okay. Specific format of output. Okay. Now, what I can ask is when user asks answer in some format, right? So the ask can be, the prompt can be explain Gen AI in below format. Okay. Now the format can be definition, right? Examples and use cases. Use cases. Okay. I want the output in this format. Okay. Or you can ask for output in JSON format. You can ask for output in, let's say, CSV or Excel or something like that, right? So this structured prompt is given when we are doing some automation. I want the output in some JSON format, and then I want to use that JSON format output somewhere in the downstream, right? That are the cases when we use structured prompt. Okay. Again, nothing to mug up all these types, just explore what are the number of ways we can pass the prompt to AI or LLM. Okay, fine. Next is constraint based prompt. Okay, what is constraint based prompt? We set limit or rules. User sets limit or rules. Okay, what user is doing, user is setting some limit or rule. Okay, we use this when we want some precise answers. Okay, for example, um, what I'll do, explain Gen AI in 3 bullet points 10 words each. Fine. I have set the restriction. I have set the rule. I want explanation of genai in 3 bullet points, and each bullet point should have only 10 words. I don't want, it should not go beyond this. Okay. This we call a constraint based, or we can call it a rule based prompt. Okay. Next is creative prompt. This is a creative prompt. Now, what is creative prompt? I think we use it, right? Simple can be explained Gen AI as real life analogy, right? I'm thinking some creatively. I want to understand Gen AI, right, in some real life analogy. Okay, this real life analogy can be human itself, right? If you ask me some question in my brain, my LLM model, if I consider my brain as my LLM model, right, and it is processing the output, and through my mouth the output is getting out, right? So that can be the best real life analogy of generative AI. Okay, and this is best for creative explanations, right? You are some content writer and you want to do some creative output. For example, any LinkedIn post you want to post, and you want to you know post it in celebratory manner, right? So you can ask genai, you can give your post, and you can ask genai to convert that in celebratory way. Okay, fine. Or any email, you want to do some escalation, so you put your points and you ask genai, write this email, add some escalation. Okay, fine. Okay, now there is something called system prompt. There is something called system prompt. Okay, system prompt is like, we use it when we are working with some chatbot or enterprise applications. Okay, so we can pass system prompt is something which is the first prompt we pass on to some LLM model or AI, right? So system prompt can be, let's say, you are a professional, let's say, financial, right? Financial assistance, right? Always respond like financial assistant, professional financial assistant. Okay. If you do not know, if you do not know the answer, please say I don't know. This can be my system prompt. Before asking any question, I'll pass this system prompt. How to pass, I'll let you know in upcoming sessions. Okay. And then I'll ask next question. What are the best investments I can do, okay, in 2026? Right. Now it will tell me, it will act as a professional financial assistant, and it will give me that output. So system prompt is something, basic information that we need to pass to a system, right? We want system to act like something. Okay, fine. So these are the number of ways we can give a prompt to any AI or LLM application. Okay, now simple rule to remember: better prompt, better output, right? I have already told you the output of AI systems, output from LLM is hugely dependent on the prompt, the way we pass the prompt. Okay, AI is powerful. Please remember, AI is powerful, but only when your instructions are clear, right? And same applies to our day-to-day work also, personal, professional, anything. If you are clear as a human or as an engineer, and if you can pass on those clear instructions to your team or to your team members you are working on, the crystal clear output you are going to get. Same applies to gen AI also, AI also, LLM also, right? Fine. I think that's all for this video. I hope you have explored, you have got, I think, 11 types of prompt, the 11, 12 ways how we can, instruct, or we can give a query to LLM or AI, right? Fine. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for all your support.